Hi everyone, welcome. This is Dina. I am here to give you an update on my Jolly July stitching, and I am going to tell you just a little bit about what I've been doing. I have been stitching on a combination of new starts and whips, as you've seen, and all of a sudden, probably around the 21st of this month, I realized that if I changed just a little bit of what I was going to work on and not start quite so many of those Advent animals and maybe not include Winter Quaker, not consider it a Christmas whip, but more a winter whip, I could glean a few days to stitch on a whip that I really wanted to finish in July. I didn't think I would have this close to a finish when I started the month of July. So, you know me, my plans are fluid. I actually write them in ink that can be erased or a pen. This is an erasable pen. So then I write with this or I write with a pencil. So I can adapt. But a plan gives me a direction and a way to go. And someone asked me the other day why I plan so much, and I said, once I get my plan done, I can get up in the morning and go straight to stitching. I don't have to decide what I want to do unless I get in there and I balk at it and say, I'm not in the mood for this today. But on about the 21st or so, I realized that I had enough days left in the month that I could probably finish it. So you'll remember I'm talking about Christmas Garden. When I started in Jolly July, sorry that's blowing out with the light there, I started on this motif. That's where I was. I had finished this section and I was starting right here. And I had to stitch that row, the words. I had to bring the borders down on both sides and stitch across here. And you wouldn't have thought, because this looks like the top third or a little over maybe, but you wouldn't have thought starting right here that I would get the itch to bring this to a finish. But I'm not sure why I did. I think I made such progress on it each day, and I want to give credit where credit is due. I've been working on a scavenger hunt prompt in Cheryl McKinney's group, and we had to go find different objects and take a picture of our whip with those objects. And then once we stitched our stitches, then we post a picture where we finish and we can go get the next object. My husband has been helping me drive around to get all of those objects that were outdoors. And so today he asked me, where are we going? What prompt do you need today? It was so funny for him to ask me that. I just loved it. So let me give you some stats. In the month of July, I've worked 10 days on this whip to get it to where it is tonight, which is finished as of 11:30 p.m. Here's my Christmas garden. I'm tickled to death with it. Just tickled to death. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. This is on 28 count platinum linen. This is a whip that I started November the 2nd of 2019, and then I finished it tonight. I put my initials at the top here. I put my husband's initials over here next to that border. You go down over here next to above the Christmas tree, I have my son's initials. And on the bottom row, next to that big flower pot in the middle, are the initials of our latest family member, Coco Crispy Hudgens. Isn't that delightful? It's amazing to me that four colors, only four colors of hand-dyed floss are in this, and yet I think it's stunning to me. I just love it. This is the first sampler I have stitched for myself. I stitched my first sampler for my sister Stephanie, and so this will be the first one that I have in my home, and I am tickled pink with it. So I'll back up and give you one more full look. It has not been unfurled since I put it on the scroll rods. I just kept moving it up and moving it up until I finished it. And I apologize for a few wrinkles too because I haven't ironed it yet today, having just finished it. But I am very, very pleased. So thanks for letting me share that with you. Jolly July has been a great stitching month for me. I have started and finished several of the Advent animals, and I have started and finished all but one so far of my what was left of my hands-on design 12 days of Christmas. I have one left, and I have 3 days left in the month. So my intention is to start on my last one, which is drummers, tomorrow. And I'm hoping that I can finish it by the end of the month because there's a lot of stitching in that one. I should be able to. I'm hoping that I can. And wouldn't that be something to finish up that series and to finish my Christmas garden in the month of July? My Christmas garden is also important for a couple of other reasons. This is one of my stitch 10 and 20. In fact, it's number 9 of the 10. The only one left is Friends, and as you know, I've mapped out a plan in hopes of finishing that in the month of November, and I'm on schedule. We'll see. The other thing I can tell you about this whip is that it was one of 3 that I had identified to be in Cheryl McKinney's scavenger hunt for this year, where you had to go find prompts and take pictures of them with your whip in front of them so that you can show where you are in that whip with that prompt. And then you stitch 200 to 300 stitches on the main tier anyway, the first tier. You chose whether you wanted the lower end or the high end. And I did a combination of the two. And I have, I think, 3 or 4 more prompts to do to complete the entire first level. I have used this whip primarily of the 3. You can use any one of the 3 in any arrangement you want, any order you want. But I have used this one over the last several days in the month of July, and I have almost completed my entire main level since I started working on this for Jolly July. So that's helped me in that regard as well. And obviously the scavenger hunt has helped push me toward working on this to get it to a finish, because I was trying to catch up on that scavenger hunt and get to the next tier. So, great news. I've had a great several days of stitching. I've been pulling some late nights stitching. I have been in here on more than one night where I have stitched past midnight, putting in some 10 and 12-hour days, being up 12 to 14 hours, but putting in a good 10 hours of stitching, which is more than I usually do. A lot more than I usually do. That's more like marathon stitching. But remember, 24 hours of cross stitch was in there. That's when I was staying up so late and stitching so much. I will tell you, my hands are a little sore, a little tired. I'm going to take a little breather, and I may just stitch a little bit tomorrow just to give them a rest. But it was well worth it. I'm very excited. So, thanks for letting me share my finish with you. Thanks for letting me share my Jolly July with you. And I hope the last 3 days are eventful and fun, and because the whole month has been. So also have got some drafted plans for August that I will try to share with you in another segment. And that way you can kind of know what to expect from me next month, maybe. But I'll save that for another time. It's very late and I want to get some sleep. I am going to take a little time tomorrow and visit with a friend. And so I may not stitch till later in the day, so that's okay. Coco went to see her best friend Fred today, so there will be pictures at the end of their visit. And here's the big accomplishment. Fred wasn't the only one there. There was another puppy there. His name is Cooper, and he was only going to be staying there. His parents were picking him up. His humans were picking him up today, just a couple of hours after we were going to take Coco there. And so we thought that would be a good test to see how she would do meeting another dog. And Cooper's a very calm and friendly puppy. So, well, he's 10 years old. Anyway, Giselle and I talked about it, and we agreed that would be the thing to do because he wouldn't be there long. So if Coco didn't respond well, Giselle could keep her separate until he left because it wouldn't take her that long to do that. And but Giselle said she felt the dogs would do well. She knows their personalities, and she felt they would do well. And when Coco got there this morning and she saw Fred and greeted Fred, and then she saw Cooper, she just went over and greeted him the way dogs normally do. They sniffed each other. That was it. They were good the rest of the day. I've even got a picture of Cooper I'll put in. Several probably, because I think he's in most of them with them in the morning. And then she played so hard with those two that she took a nap. What tickled me was when Giselle sent me the picture. Giselle is obviously laying on the bed with her laptop or something that she's, doing. And Coco is laying on her bed, napping with her on her bed. So yeah, they do let your dog sleep with them or on their bed. They're so good. They treat her just like she's at home. I love it. Anyway, I've got pictures to share with you there. And then the other thing, if they turn out okay, I've got to go back and kind of look at them because I was filming them and I'm not sure what I was capturing as well, or if I was capturing anything, was my husband trying to get Coco to sleep. It was the funniest thing to me. Last night, Coco did not want to go to sleep. She may have sensed some excitement we had about her going to visit Fred today, but she fights sleep every night anyway, like a little child. She doesn't want to go to sleep. And she'll be real sleepy. So then she'll get her toys and want you to play tug, and she'll really try to stay very active, almost hyperactive, to try to stay awake. Her eyes will be drooping and she'll try to stay awake. So my husband laid down in my sewing room floor next to me and tried to convince her to lay down with him and go to sleep. He wanted her just to settle and get quiet and sleepy, and then he would take her on to bed. And it was so funny to me to watch him try to calm her down, what he went through to try to entice her to go to sleep. And you can see her just jumping all around. It's so funny. So I hope it came out okay. If it did, it'll be at the end of the video. But I wanted to explain to you what it was. And then one last photo on Coco. My husband took her on a nice long walk the other evening. He sent me a picture of her in front of a ladies' college here in Gainesville. And it's actually now not just women, but the name of the college used to be Women's College. And so he took a picture of her there and said, oh, she's going to school, that she's registered for school, she's going to the Women's College. And I texted him back and said, well, we always knew she was very smart, but it's a good picture of her, so I may put it in. But if you see the college, that's why. He's just doing it for me as a funny. But anyway, I hope you enjoy her pictures, and thanks for letting me share them with you, because she's such a big part of my life, and most of my family updates are about her now anyway, so I'll let you picture what we're talking about. I've talked a long time. I may edit half of this out. I don't know. So um, we will see. But anyway, I'm excited in case you didn't notice about my finish. And I just wanted to share it with you. And I'm excited that Coco made a new friend and was able to meet a new dog without incident and without any nervousness or anxiety on her part. We've come so far. And so we've made arrangements for her to have another play date on the 8th of August because our son's birthday is coming up right after that. And the 8th is a Saturday and he's off work, and that's when he wants to celebrate his birthday with us and go somewhere nice for dinner or lunch. And we don't like to leave Coco him alone at home very long. She gets very anxious when she's separate from all of us. So we've made arrangements for her to play with Fred that day, and we'll be celebrating our son's birthday together. So we're excited though because on that Saturday there will be 2 more new puppies for Coco to meet, and we'll see how she goes. One of them is actually only about 10 weeks old. I would love to see how she reacts to the baby, the little tiny puppy. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. Gonna go get some sleep. I will hopefully have more updates to share with you maybe in another day or two, my last one for the month, and I'll give you my August plans, and that'll be it. So happy stitching, everyone. Good night. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Dina, and today is Friday. It is the 31st of July, and this wraps up my Jolly July stitching. So how did I do? Well, first of all, let me give you the most recent report. The last new start that I picked up for the Jolly July was drummers. This is the final ornament in the 12 Days of Christmas series by Hands On Design, and I am tickled to let you know that last night I finished it. Here is my drummers. I've had lots of questions. Every video I've shared one of these on this fabric. This is a 32 count linen. It is rubeous, the color rubeous. It's a Picture This Plus hand dyed fabric. And so that's what mine is now. I will tell you what I've learned on it. The pink that's called for does not show up well. It is old brick. Old brick. And it's on here and you can hardly see it. It just gets, it's almost the same exact color as the patterning, the modeling, that light color in the modeling. And so it just disappears into it. But because it's used so little, you can see it very well with the naked eye. You can't see it as well on camera, but when I get it close enough, you can. So I left it. I left it in because it's very subtle, and I didn't want it to be pink, So I just left it as was. The only place I really felt like I had a problem with it was on the ladies dancing. And if you've seen that video, I went back and I back stitched it with the burgundy looking color that was called for other things. And it is mulberry. And once I back stitched them in the mulberry around the shoe, they showed up beautifully. So I was fine with that. But this wraps up that series from Hands On Design. Kathy, it was wonderful to stitch. I loved it. I think they're beautiful colors. And I can't wait to figure out how I'm going to finish them. So that was a big accomplishment from Jolly July. In addition to that, I did, in the Hands On Design series alone, I did 4 of those designs. And so I started with ladies, and then I did the ladies dancing, lords leaping, pipers piping, and drummers drumming. So I did 4 of those in the month of July. I was able to do Rascal Raccoon from the Advent Animals. I had planned on doing 2 more, but I gave up those plans to finish Christmas Garden. So my big accomplishment this month was finishing Christmas Garden. And I gave up a new start on Holy Night. And Dottie, I'm sorry, Dottie Crisp was going to start that with me, and I wanted to do that so badly, but I just wanted to finish Christmas Garden. Wanted to get it off my plate. And it's so beautiful. I wanted to be able to frame it and use it this Christmas. So I'm going to put Holy Night on the front burner of one of my newest starts coming up, maybe even this year, but I'm going to do it sometime. That was huge to finish Christmas Garden. I had not planned it. I had not expected it at all. And yet there it was. I got 2 Christmas presents made, one for my earthly mom, Stephanie's mother, and one for my sister Stephanie, and I've shared those with y'all. Oh, and I did Gigi Giraffe too, so I did 2 Advent Animals in the month, so I did get 2 done. I did another ornament that I had been wanting to do, Little House Needleworks Potted Poinsettia. So if you're counting, that is 4 from Hands On Design, 2 from Advent Animals, and Potted Poinsettia is 7 ornaments that I did this month. So I'm pretty excited about that. One whole mania year, I did 7 ornaments. That was all I got done in the month of May, so that was pretty exciting. Then, in addition to all of that, I did get to work on Giggles in the Snow, and I did start Christmas Spool Tree, so I have another new Christmas that I'm working on. So that kind of wraps up my Jolly July. I did a little bit of purchasing during July. I've shared with you the pandemic pattern that I downloaded like most other people, but I went ahead and showed you the fabric and the floss that I purchased. I had a recommendation from one of my viewers to add an accent color of either silver or gold. I am definitely considering that. So I will be looking around to see what I want to put in there as an accent color, and then look at the pattern to figure out which ones I want to do in the accent color. So we'll go from there. But another thing I heard about this month, you may have heard, C. Zook Stitch and a friend of hers are putting on a magazine sale. I think they were originally going to start it at the first of the year. Now they may be starting it in August. Sorry if Carolyn, if I've lost that in translation, because it's been several days since I watched your video. But what that triggered in me was a search in my magazine collection to see if I had enough things that I wanted to start that I could start one a month with them. And that was before I heard all the details that they've come up with on having a theme for the month, things like that. So I'll have to wait and see what those are to see if mine fits. And it could be that I just start a few magazine pieces in the coming year, but that's still kind of long range, and I'm going to wait and hear more, and then I'll make a decision on that. But it had a side effect. I looked through every magazine I own, front to back. Couldn't even do it in one sitting. But what it allowed me to accomplish is now I have a stack of magazines that I realize I have stitched all the designs out of them that I want to stitch, or the reason I was holding on to it was a design that I no longer want to stitch. It doesn't fit my decor, or my taste have changed, or whatever. And so I've got a great stack of magazines to take with me the next time I get to stitch with anybody in person for a freebie table. And I'm hoping that people will enjoy them. There were a couple of magazines that when I saw what I had, a couple of floss tubers just jumped out at me. I knew I had to get them these magazines. And so I've done that. The last one went out in the mail today. And so I hope they enjoy them. And but I wanted to pass them along to somebody I thought might enjoy stitching something out of it. But in my search through these magazines, some of them are very, very old because I've been collecting them for a very long time. I saw a picture that was in one of the ads in the background. It wasn't even a design that they had in the magazine. It was something they were advertising. It happened to be part of the props. But it made a liar out of me because I said in one of my very recent segments that I hoped that my friend really, really enjoyed Friends, because it would be the only Bob Timberlake I would ever stitch her. And because of the full coverage, because it's so detailed, and because it's a hand-drawn pattern. Well, don't ever say what you won't do. I found this on eBay after I saw this picture in one of the ads in an old magazine, and I thought, oh my word, my friend would just have a fit. This is a second picture that's in this pattern as well, so I got two on this one, two separate ones. And I think by looking at it, this is going to be the same size, which is a perfect 8 by 10, as of the Friends. Wouldn't that make a beautiful companion piece? So I'm going to put this in my stash. I don't know when or if I will ever start it, but I have it. And depending on how much she really likes the Bob Timberlake one that I give her, when I do give it to her, it'll help me determine how soon I'll start working on this one. So there you go. Never say never. Anyway, you know, when you have a dear friend that you've known 27 years, and you've been through thick and thin together, you've been through the raising of your children together, and your children were best friends, you've been through burying all of your parents together, you know, those friends are rare. And so if this is something that she truly loves and it brings her great joy, then I just have to consider doing that a little bit down the road once I get over the one I'm doing. So another funny story is that my husband saw a couple of things I did as gifts not too long ago, and he liked them so much that he asked me to make us some. And I had originally ordered some sleds for a finish recently that were too small. So I have those 2 sleds to use. So I went online and I looked up Foxwood Crossings to get all their designs, and I looked for the ones that have the smaller sled patterns. And this is one I got, and I believe Mischievous Stitches, Lori, I think you've stitched this one or working on it. And this was another one that I loved. And I thought they made a good pair, you know, a Santa Claus and the reindeer together. This is the one that I will do on the little, or here's the little one. No, that's a mini. This is the one I have. I'll do this for one of the little sleds I have, and then I'll do the little Santa on the other one. And I think those will look pretty together on the tree. Don't know that I'll do them for this year, but they are quick. They only take a couple of days to stitch. So anyway, that's my haul from July. So that's my wrap up. That's what I've been working on. And now I'm gonna sit down and go over plans for August. If I have time today, I'll come back and tape it for you and maybe wrap this up and put it up tomorrow, who knows. But I need to get busy on August plans and get them ready for tomorrow. I'm not even sure I'll be stitching today. I've got to finish something to display for August, and I really want to fully finish that today. And then I want to get my plans ready, you know, for next month. And my husband's off on a brief run, and so I don't necessarily want Coco to feel like she's being ignored all day. So I'll let you know when I come back and give you my next report. But in the meantime, for you, happy stitching. I hope you've had a great July. Hi everyone, this is Tina. I'm back just for a quick summary for this video segment. I am talking about my August plans, and then I'm gonna wrap this up and I'm gonna put some great footage at the end for you. There are a couple of little cute videos I'm gonna put in. One is, depending on how well it looks on my phone, I'm gonna put in one of my husband trying to coax Coco into settling down to go to sleep at night. It's really funny. And then, of course, I have pictures of her latest visit with her best friend, Fred, and she actually met a new puppy, Cooper, and so I got pictures of that I promised to share with you. So those will be at the end of the video. But until then, I want to talk to you about what will August hold for me. Well, the first, I guess, thing will be that I'm going to have a new start. And I'm going to be starting Cross Stitch Nation on the 14th, which is World Cross Stitch Day. And I think I have shared this way back when, so I will share it with you again. But this fabric is called Ophelia. It is a Jobelin. It is by Under the Sea Fabrics. And this is the other half of the piece that I stitched the Ashley's Roses on up there, the 4th of July looking one. I think it's a beautiful piece of fabric. It's got pinks and a little pale yellow in it, but it looks quite springish, and I'm gonna enjoy stitching on for the Cross Stitch Nation. I have done my own conversion. I will keep a record of it as I stitch it, and be happy to share it with you. These are my notes. I have quite a few. But I have taken each character in the pattern and I have replicated as much as possible sort of the color scheme of each of the outfits, because I think they're great. They're outlandish. I love them. But I am doing mine in a combination of silk and DMC. So I wanted to show you some of the silks that I'm going to be using. This is a New England Berries. This is a silk pearl cotton from the Thread Gatherer. I just think that is gorgeous. That's going to be one of the dresses. And then another dress is going to be this beautiful silken color called Forest Ash. You might be able to see better from this side. It's more of a blue. It's going to be one of the dresses. This is going to be one of the dresses. It's going to be that beautiful red with that orange accent. The gentleman's coat is going to be, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you the name of the red. The red is Dragon's Breath. It's a silken color. And then this is a Carol Water Lily, and it's dark shadows. That's going to be the man's jacket. And then one of the other dresses is going to be Alpine Grasses. It's another silken color. And I think that's a beautiful blue and kind of a bright green, but muted, you know, just really pretty. And these were as close as I could pair them to the actual colors, you know, in here. And then I went through and I picked a different skin tone for every person. I'm trying my best to represent a number of us in the community. I have, oops, my low battery came up, sorry. I have hair colors and skin colors that are different for every single person. And so I have from very, very pale to a beautiful, beautiful dark brown. And so I think that hopefully I have gotten skin and hair tones that will represent our Irish folks, redheads. I've got a blonde in there. I've got a very pale skin with dark hair for Asian. I've got some tan, you know, just for people who are much more tanned in their skin, olive tone for our European Italians, or I've got dark brown for our African American folks. I hope that I'm representing as many of us as I can. The one thing that I didn't figure out a way to do was to represent older people with gray hair. And I just felt like it wasn't necessary because we're all young at heart. And so I'm putting our inner self in there. But anyway, I hope you like the variety that I came up with. I was trying to make sure that the skin tone and hair tones that I was picking looked good with the actual dress or outfit, you know, that I was putting together, trying to make it flow nicely from person to person. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and I would like to encourage any of you who want to please join me and stitch either a cross stitch nation or another piece that you feel you're working on for representation and inclusion, and we'll go from there. So that's the biggest piece of my August stitching that I wanted to share with you, because it's a new start and I'm not having a whole lot of those right now since I had Mania and Jolly July. Watch out, here comes the zipper. Sorry, so close together. So what that means is the rest of my month I'm going to be working on whips, and I'm going to start my month off with Larry Lion, one of the Advent animals, because that'll make sure I keep going on them. I won't push them aside because I'm tired of Christmas. So I can go ahead and actually get started on one of those on the very first day and knock it out. And then because I do full coverage on the 5th as part of one of my Facebook groups as a Sal, I'm going to pick up my friends and we'll try to get another section done in 3 days, hopefully. And then I'm going to just work on my whips. And this month I've done something a little different. I've set a goal for each of my whips. And I'll give you just a few examples. I'm not going to read all of them to you because I'll tell them to you as I pick them up and work on them. I'll tell you the goal that I've set. But for instance, on Sew Sisters, my goal is to stitch one of the women. And I've given it 2 days, and I'm hoping that in 2 days' time I could finish one of the ladies that's in that one. And on, let's see, what's another one? Another easy one would be Autumn Arbor. I've got in here to finish the row I'm on. It's a short row. I've only got it for 1 day, and I can at least finish the row. Now, if I'm not through with the day's worth of stitching and I finish that row, I'll keep going. But, you know, for that day, I want to finish the row. Then on my Haid, I need to pull it back out. I have a goal of getting another diagonal done. And I have given myself 3 days to get that done, and I hope that I do. And giggles, I'm gonna try to finish the boy. You know, I finished his arm, and so now I just have his legs. And I would like at least to finish the boy's body, and then all the stuff around him where he's, you know, doing his shadow of the angel and stuff. If I don't get all of that done, that's okay, but I'd really like to finish the little boy. And I've given myself 2 days to try to do that. So it's gonna be a catching up, as I call it, on all my whips that I didn't get to touch in the month of July because of doing all the Christmas stitching. And other than Larry Lion, my Christmas whips are not here. I'm gonna take a month off from them because I've spent an entire month on Christmas. And I like to do variety in my stitching so that I don't get, you know, a feeling of heaviness, of dreading anything. So those are my plans. I'm looking forward to it, and hope that you are. I will probably go ahead and close out this video, even though I've just put one up recently. I think that it would be great to close out the month of July on the last day of July and start August fresh, not having the Christmas theme. So thanks for watching and sharing my Jolly July Christmas stitching with me this month. I've appreciated your comments and your questions and your kindness, and I hope that I'll be stitching on one of your favorites in the month of August. I'll see you later. Happy stitching.
Lay down with me. Come here, let me rub your belly. Come here, let me rub your belly and you scrub your ears. What do you say? Can I rub your belly and I'll rub your ears. How about that? Did you eat just breakfast tonight? Your supper tonight?
She did. She ate all of it.
Now don't jump on me and hurt my arm. I hear some serious chewing, smacking over there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Wait, what? No, no. What are you? No. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? No, don't. What are you doing? Come on, let's go sleep. Come on, let's go sleep.
She's chewing that other ear off that little puppy dog.
Let's go for the tag. Go on for the tag. Come on, what are you doing? Let's go to sleep. Come here. Come here, I'll rub your ears. Let me rub your ears. I'll put you to sleep. Come here. Come here, I'm rubbing your ears.
She's ignoring you.
Come here, rub your belly. Rub your belly. Ooh. Standing up, rubbing the belly.
While she's still chewing on the ear.
Squeaking that thing, that's keeping me awake. Okay, it comes again. She'll be back in a minute. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'll say smacking.
She's gonna turn around where you can't get her in the butt anymore. Oh look, that's sweet.
What are you doing there?
It's down at your feet now.
Okay, good night. You did a good job. Wait. Come on, Percy. You did a good job tearing it off like that. Come on. Come on, you're having a hard time keeping your eyes open. Come here, you can hardly keep your eyes open. Come here. Let me chew on it. Come here. Give me a little bite. Come here. Look at her eyes, Dina. They're hard to stay open.
Mm-hmm.
Come here, rub your ears. Let me rub your ears. No. Ooh, I'm glad that wasn't me.
Yeah, she wants her little squeaky toy.
Let me rub your ears. There you go. There you go. Settle down. Settle down. Let me rub your ears. There you go. You've already got the label off. There's nothing left. You've already got it. You chewed it off. Night night.